first, we take a look at how diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts have become politicized, which has sparked boycotts, backlash, and a lack of trust among consumers.
All right, so this is a trend showing that consumers have a voice when choosing where to put their dollars. So here to help us make sense of what consumer trends will look like right now is Lola Bakare, who is an inclusive marketing strategist and author. Welcome to Great Day Washington.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello.
This must be an interesting time to be in your field and studying what's happening.
It is such an interesting time because right now, at the confluence of leaders being more visible than ever, brands being more visible than ever, and consumers having more access to giving real-time feedback than ever, has made it a moment where you can't not be listening to what people think about what you're doing as a brand. And DEI is a huge issue right now, where what's happening in Washington might not necessarily, not this studio in Washington, but maybe somewhere else in Washington, might not necessarily match how people feel across the country.
Yeah. So what risks do leaders and companies face when they maybe soften their DEI commitment or?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it everywhere, right? I'll talk about risk and then I'll talk about missed opportunity. The risk is your business declining. Target is seeing that. It started with foot traffic declines that have been documented ever since the moment they announced they were moving away from their DEI commitments. And then we're seeing that now and they're reflecting their stock price. They're having to be accountable to their shareholders. I've heard that there's even a lawsuit coming together from shareholders who say, hey, you didn't warn me of the risk of voting against this stuff. So that's a huge risk. But the bigger risk, and this is what I talk about in my book, is the missed opportunity of growth. Because as a business, you're nothing if you're not growing, right?
Yeah, they want the growth.
So if you're not paying attention to how the consumers who are making up new cohorts of wealth across the United States, we know our country is becoming more and more multicultural. In a few years, it will no longer be a majority white country. So if you're not thinking about that, you're missing out on palpable growth opportunities for your business. And that's something that no brand leader or CEO really wants. So how do we make sure that they feel brave enough to do what brands should be doing and leaders should be doing, even in this environment?
Because you're seeing people might love a brand. They love how this outfit fits them and they've always bought it. But the leader takes a certain stance and now they are boycotting
Absolutely,
that brand.
yes. I mean, there is some research from a firm that I partner with, Givesley, that says that 2 out of every 3 Americans report that they would spend more on a brand that aligns with their values. Because people care and they have so many choices. So they want brands, especially the younger audiences like Gen Z, you know, et cetera. I'm an older millennial. I think we kind of started that trend. But, you know, they want to be able to use your brand to badge their values. And it's not just about the product. That's what marketing is. It's adding residual value on top of the product. So it's not enough to just have the best outfit. You have to, as an entire business, especially those who represent the business on the front line, the leaders and CEOs, the people at the point of sale, everyone in between, you have to be reflecting the values that consumers hold dear.
Speaking of consumers, what advice do you have for them? They're just the everyday average Americans. They might have loved this outfit. They might have loved this particular food, chicken, this, that, the other, and now they're feeling some kind of way like, gosh, I love that food or that outfit. I want to go there, but now I don't know if I...
Well, I mean, I encourage everyone to trust their values and to live their truth. You don't want to get into a place where you're scared to do what it is that you want because of how other people might react. That's not the right way to think about it. But it's more so, how do I really feel and what decisions do I want to boldly make? And if those are the same as, you know, other people's, great. If they're not, be a leader. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. It still is. I was born in Washington, D.C. I am a patriot. And real patriots believe in freedom. So everybody should reflect that in the way that they're shopping and navigating this environment.
Yeah, you want to feel good when you go into the store and leave, but where you spend your money matters.
Of course. I mean, people work so hard, especially in an environment where the economy is going to be more and more challenging, right? People are thinking about their buying decisions with more and more scrutiny. And so that's also why these opportunities for growth are more and more important for brands to take advantage of.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. I know your book has a lot
you.
of great information. And you guys can grab Lola's book, Responsible Marketing, How to Create an Authentic and Inclusive Marketing Strategy, wherever books are sold.